G'day everyone and welcome to my Deztreks blog. Today we're going to check out Casaroro Falls here in Negros Oriental. This is one of the tallest waterfalls in Negros Oriental. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just click subscribe below. Click the little bell so you get all the notifications. And stay tuned as we go and check out Casaroro Falls. So heading up to Casaroro Falls in Valencia. Just outside of Dumaguete, but it's up in the mountain a little bit. It's a little bit hilly. Fortunately, I'm staying with a friend here, Greg. So we're driving up from his place. He lives in Bonilad, which is just outside Dumaguete City. So there's a couple of different ways that you can actually get to Casaroro Falls if you are in Dumaguete City. If you look below in the description, I'll put a Google Maps on exactly where Casaroro Falls is. But it's not all that far to get there to Valencia from Dumaguete City. So make sure you stay tuned for more. Entry point to Casaroro Falls. If you find the right road, you're not going to miss it. As you can see, you come up here and there's a car park and a wall, so you can't really go too much further. But if you find this restaurant and cafe thing here, as you can see, very new building apparently. You know you found the right place. So it's a 30 peso registration fee, which is hardly nothing. That's less than $1. And then here are the steps to go down to the waterfall. There's 335 steps to go down to the waterfall, and then you've got to go about 300 meters along the river. There's about 3 river crossings along there. So we'll go and check that out. We're just registering now, and then we'll be on our way. I've got my guide here. So let's register and let's get going. Okay, so here we are starting our descent down the stairs. You can see here we've got a paved path, as I showed you before. 335 steps all the way down. And some of these views here, we're really quite high at the top of the mountains here. And Casaroro Falls is the tallest waterfall in Negros Oriental. So it should be pretty spectacular once we get down there. So we're almost down at the river. You can see these steps here, now changed from concrete to steel. So probably can get a little bit slippery. Make sure you take care when you're walking down these stairs. Okay, now that we're a bit closer to the river, we've got some more boulders now to negotiate up towards the falls, just here beside the river. Not too strenuous, but it would be advisable to wear hiking boots if you come up here. A little bit slippery, but not too bad. Just be aware that it's not a paved path the whole way to the waterfall, so just got to be aware that you'll need to negotiate some rocks and boulders. So we mentioned that there's 3 river crossings here. This is the first one. So as you can see, there's a handrail here. It's not all that deep. It's just at the top of one of the rapids here. So that gives you a bit of an idea of one of the river crossings right here. So here we are at the second of the river crossings. As you can see here, just some bamboo going across the river. So on this occasion, no rocks, you don't even need to get your feet wet. And of course you can see some of the rapids behind me here and a bit further downstream. Unbelievable place, this is magic. But this is the final river crossing just here. As you can see, cocoa lumber across here and then the rocks. and just got to go across to the other side and then up to the waterfall. It's taken us about half an hour to get here. It's not a very long hike, a little bit difficult with some of the boulders, and obviously I'm not looking forward to going back up. That's going to be a real challenge, going back up the 335 stairs. Looking at this waterfall here, I think it'll definitely be worth it. This is amazing. And as we get close to the base of the falls, you can see here just a little bit of ankle deep water to go through, nothing too serious. Unfortunately, the sun is shining right on the water. It's still about 9 o'clock in the morning, so the sun's reasonably low. And as you can see there, it's shining right on the water and making it very difficult with the exposure. But this is absolutely unbelievable, this waterfall. It must be about 30 metres high. And the water is really crashing down. But it's probably better if you come more towards midday, I'd say, because the sun will be higher and you don't get quite as much glare as you get here. So if you're ever in Negros Oriental, you need to make sure you come and check out Casaroro Falls here in Valencia, and only about probably half an hour's drive or ride out of Dumaguete city. You can spend the day here if you like, having a picnic. Absolutely sensational place to stay for half a day, hang out. You can have a swim, the water's clear and fresh, and unbelievable place. And when you finish the hike, there's a very nice restaurant here with nice views. So about halfway up to Casaroro Falls, you'll see this banner. I mean, you have to look really, really hard. It's on your left heading up towards Casaroro Falls. So you'll see on the sign here, there's 10 waterfalls. We've got Totin Falls, and we've got the original Casaroro Falls, and there's a little walkway just here. Plus there's about another 7 waterfalls along there. The rest of the waterfalls on this list are up where we went to Casaroro Falls further up the road. So certainly plenty of waterfalls around here. Next to the banner, we've got a little pathway just here. And if you come in here, you'll meet this guy here, Totil. Okay, so say hi, Totil. And then you'll see a little bit of a paved path. So there's a few waterfalls up here, and Totel will be your guide if you come here. So there's some other alternatives. I'll do a bit of a ride up on this to help you out. Thank you, Totel. Salamat. So we've finished the trail down to Casaroro Falls. Just a couple of tips. When you get there, hire a guide. I definitely recommend hiring a guide. And if you do, look for Tommy. Tommy was the guide that I used, and he was very, very good. You don't have to pay a fee for the guide, but you should tip the guide. And of course, it's always up to you how much you tip them. So 500 pesos is probably a fair amount, but it's up to you. But Tommy provided very good service. The second tip, if you're with Tommy on the way back, Tommy was recommending every, say, 10 or 15 steps to just stop, have a breather, have a little bit of water, and really take your time going back up, because it is almost a vertical sort of climb. The stairs, luckily it's a paved trail, the stairs are good, and we saw there's some steel steps there as well. So the trail itself is actually okay, but take your time. So all in all, allow yourself about 30 minutes to go, say, down the stairs, then allow about another 15 minutes to hike along the river and get to the falls. And then obviously picture taking, videos, whatever it happens to be. And it'll take you around about 30 to 40 minutes to go back up. So you could basically do the whole trip in probably about 2 hours if you're short for time. So if you've got a flight out of Dumaguete in the afternoon, this is something you probably could do in the morning. The other word of advice is that Early in the morning, the sun, when it's still low, shines right onto the waterfall. The waterfall becomes really glary with the sun on it, which doesn't make for good picture taking. It messes with your exposure, so if you're trying to take some pictures, that's probably not the best time to go. So my recommendation would be to go probably closer towards midday, sometime after 10 or 11 o'clock. And even though it is a bit hotter then, you can go for a little bit of a swim. The water is beautiful and cool down there, so I think you will enjoy it more if you go a little bit later in the day. It's certainly going to be better for picture taking. That brings us to the end of the video, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. You'll see below the subscribe button and also the little bell for notifications. Make sure you click that so you get notified when all my videos come through. And stay tuned for the next video and the next Deztreks adventure, and I look forward to seeing you then.